Hey, how's it going, friends? Hope that everyone is doing well. If you don't know who this is, I am Patti Mason, also known as Pepperspray Patti. I am a women's self-defense instructor, empowerment coach, and survivor of domestic violence. And I add that in because I want people to know that there is life. And as a matter of fact, today is my 6-year anniversary since my divorce from my abuser was finalized. And if you have been following me over the years on my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, then you know a good chunk of my story. If you've ever taken one of my classes, I share my experience, I share my story, and I do it for a reason because it is from that experience that I seeked out self-defense, which then empowered me beyond my wildest dreams in in my confidence in myself and just in my life, and has blessed me with this gift of Pepperspray Patti, my self-defense business. And I'm a true believer that when you've been gifted, aka empowered, it becomes our social responsibility to pass it on. I do this because this is my way of paying it forward and hoping that everyone knows not only are you worthy and loved, but you deserve. You deserve safety, you deserve confidence, you deserve the ability to take care of yourself. So today we're doing the 30-day self-defense challenge. Today is day 7. As I was explained in previous videos, I had a plan. I had all 30 days worked out, and then coronavirus came and completely threw a ton of the things on my list way out of whack, because we're not around each other as much as we were before. So I'm adjusting a little bit, just as everybody is adjusting. And that's, go back to the videos in the first week of the 30-day self-defense challenge, and you will find some help and wisdom to help you get through and stay mentally focused and prepared. Because here's the reality: regardless of everything that's going on around us, vulnerabilities and our safety hasn't changed, except that maybe it is increasing, because when you have a time like this, when there's so much unknown and fear and panic, and you combine that with so many more people are out of work, they're not necessarily getting the same kind of services that they may have been getting before. A lot of different factors are changing our environment right now. And so we do need to be more cautious. We do need to be more aware. And I hope that even if you're not doing the 30-day self-defense challenge, that every day you are paying more attention and being more aware. And again, if you want to know more about what that looks like, well, that's what I'm here for. Today we are at the local grocery store, and I want to talk about practicing self-defense when you're doing a daily chore like this. Now, right now, things, again, like I said, are a little bit different. So maybe this isn't something that you're doing as often, but at some point you may have to go to the grocery store. And then when things get, back to normal, this is what I do when I go to the grocery store. So first of all, I pulled into the parking lot, and as you see, as I, kind of looked, I'm not too far from the front entrance. Now, years ago, that was the hot thing, was to tell people to park especially if you're young and healthy and physically able to park farther away from the store, because hey, you know, we could all use that extra exercise walking to the grocery store. Well, I'm here to tell you that throw that right out the window if you haven't already. For myself, when I go to the grocery store, I am usually by myself. So here I am, a female. Turn off the car. I am a female who's all by myself, which shouldn't be two vulnerabilities, but the reality is in the world that we live in that it is. And so I do take that seriously, and so have created a routine for when I get to the store to help keep me safe. Now, part of that routine is that I am very conscious of where I park. One, because when I come back out, I want to remember where I'm parked. And I definitely don't want to ever make it look like I don't know where my car is parked, even if you've forgotten. Now, this video if you're watching this video on Facebook, you're only going to get to see the first part. So everyone on Facebook that is watching this, make sure that you go to my YouTube channel to be able to watch part 2, because part 1 is going to be what happens when I pull into the parking lot and go into the store, and then part 2 is going to be when I'm done shopping and coming out, because there are a lot of things, you're still being aware inside the grocery store, you're still paying attention, and there's a lot of things that you can do to improve and practice self-defense. But I'm going to wait and save that. And I don't want to do everything for the grocery store in this one video, especially since, we're just practicing every day, practicing self-defense. And so the goal is I'm going to share with you what I do when I'm going into the store. And you have the opportunity to practice and create your own routine that keeps you the safest. And then practice the next thing. Practice, the safety inside the store, and then practice I don't want anyone to be overwhelmed, but I want you to know that it doesn't take a whole lot to practice on a regular basis. So I pulled in, I park as close as I can to the front entrance, and I'm conscious of, what am I getting at the store? What exit am I gonna? Which door am I going to be coming in and out of? And parking by that. I like to look and see that door over there, that's where the produce is. That's where most people enter in. I just happen to park here. This is where, because there's so much there's so much grocery pickup happening at grocery stores right now, that makes this other entrance, a lot more traffic oriented. But I try to find, where's the entrance where there's the most traffic coming through, park, near there, because and if I can't, I'll go to the other entrance, but I want to park close to the door. The closer you are to the building, the more people there are, the more lights, cameras, all that kind of stuff. That is just a safer place to be. Now, I also pay attention when I pull in of who am I parking next to? Whose vehicle's on this side? Whose vehicle's on that side? And I want to be conscious of, things like vans and, is the vehicle running? Just paying attention to different things like that and being much more conscious, intentionally aware of what is around you. So kind of take note. Okay, I like the spot. I pull in, turn off my car, and I grab my keys. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos before, you know that I keep a Kubotan and a pepper spray on my keys. So when I go and I grab it to get out of my car, I am going to make sure that it is in my hand and ready to go so that I can use it quickly if I have to. The other thing is, and forgive the busyness of my truck, but this here is my passenger seat. And what you don't see in my passenger seat is my purse. This is, if there's any little small, teensy-weensy little tip on your safety that I can give to you, it would be, ladies, do not keep your purse in your passenger seat. I did for so long, but that is a vulnerability. That is why when you go to stoplights and stop signs or gas stations or ATMs or whatever it is, that people are, will try to unlock, will try to open your passenger door. Why? Because they're expecting that that purse is going to be sitting there. So I go right here in between the two seats, and my purse is right there. So that way, sitting in my driver's seat, I can still reach it if I need to access it, but it's not sitting there where it is the most vulnerable. The other thing that I have done is I talk about being aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. I know that my right hand, my right arm is stronger than my left. That's my more dominant side. So I want to manipulate the situation so that if I have to fight back, I don't want to set myself up for a more difficult task. And so what I did, one of the other habits that I created, is I retrained myself to carry my purse on my left arm. And so before I get in my car, I make sure that that purse is there and it's ready to go. And that way, I can use my left hand, and I have my purse, and I'm going to get out of the car and show you all this, but I have it there on the left side so that I am free with my right hand and my right arm. If I have to use this, or I need to use this, or I need to fight back, whatever it is, my dominant arm is fully free. I'm not going to have a purse falling down. I'm not going to have anything interfering. I have my protection in my hand. So let's get out of the car. It's kind of hot here, actually. So we get out, and I got to find a spot where I'm not super sunny. And let's go over here. So as you see, when I am walking out of my car, I have that purse there. Now, of course, I have my phone in my hand, but as you see, here we go. So I've got my purse on my shoulder, and I am ready to go and walk into the grocery store. See, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to head in, and I'm going to keep my purse, and I'm going to be moving my head and paying attention, being aware of what's happening around me, who the people are. Now with social distancing, it does make it a little bit easier to be able to, spot people and things like that. But you still want to be looking around. You still want to be paying attention. The grocery stores are not as busy as they normally are, even, this time of the day. Normally, a grocery store this parking lot would be full, but that doesn't mean that we can slack off. We still need to be paying attention. So I hope that this helps. Be sure, sometime in the next 24 hours, I will be posting this whole video with part 2 attached to it onto my YouTube channel, and you can see what happens when I leave the grocery store. You guys stay safe. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Friends, so here we are. We are actually at my house. I'll shut this off. So by the time I got out of the grocery store, I didn't have enough battery. And I don't like to let it draw down at the end if at all possible, just in case. Which, hey, there's a bonus tip for you is keep your phone charged, because you never know when you're going to need it or not be able to charge it. So anyways, everything that I was going to show you walking out of the grocery store to my car, I can do from my car to the house. So we're still going to get this done. Now, another bonus tip is, since we're in my car, I love to play the radio. There is no other instrument that I am good at like the radio, okay? So one of the things that I've added to my habits is when I turn on to my streets, I turn off the radio. Because what I found at one point is that I was pulling into my driveway, and as a matter of fact, at the time that I realized this, I actually was at a different apartment where I had to park on the street. And my routine at that time was to, pull up in front of the house and then, get my stuff together and get ready to walk to the house. What I noticed, though, is in that moment of when I pull up, turn off the car, and gathering my things and ready to head out of the vehicle, the radio stays on even when I turn my car off. And as much as I love to listen to the music, what was happening is I realized that it was a distraction and I didn't have one of my senses that is very important at the time, especially when I was pulling up in front of the house at night. So changed that routine so that I was turning off the radio before I got onto my street. And so, of course, I'm still doing that now. And I'm no longer parking on the street. I'm in the driveway now, but even still. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, I was warm, so I took my sweatshirt off. So how it works is, again, the purse is down here. So I will grab that. And if you're anything like me, and I'm like most people, the goal right now is always to get as much as you possibly can in your hands so that you can carry it all in the house and only take one trip, right? Well, again, we're about being safe and changing our daily habits to help us be safer and less vulnerable. So just like I said earlier in the video that I changed my habit so that I don't carry my purse on the right side, so that I don't want to have something dropping down and getting in the way while I'm trying to defend myself or talk with my hands during a video, right? So I retrained myself to carry my purse on the left side so that this arm is always free. Well, I do the same thing with the groceries or anything else that I'm going to carry into the house. So what that means is anything that I can carry with my left hand, left arm, whatever, I have given myself permission to do whatever I got to do to load up this arm and carry everything with this arm and this hand. If I can't, if it's too heavy, too bulky, whatever, I will not carry it with this hand. This hand always stays free and available. The whole arm does. So it was a small trip today. I wanted to get a few things. So I got 3 bags. And, they're heavy. They're not too bad. A couple boxes of pasta. This one does have a 3-pound bag of onions and some asparagus. And then this one's got a few other little pantry items. So not super heavy. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get away with carrying all 3 in my hand and on my arm. But I will not have to make another trip because this arm always stays free. Why? Because again, I'm taking out my keys and this is in my hand and ready to use just in case. And this is something very easy that you can have in your hand because it's a part of helping you defend yourself. So that's kind of how that works. So let's grab the camera because I'm about to like get out like I normally do and just leave you here, right? So let's get out of the car and walk to the house. Remember, when you're paying attention to your surroundings, I do want to make this note because I used to pay attention to my surroundings. I used to be aware of my surroundings, whatever kind of stuff. But once I learned self-defense, I learned what it really means to be aware. Because what I was doing is, sure, I was looking around, I was paying attention, but I wasn't doing it intentionally. And this is important when you are practicing self-defense. The key component to everything that we've been doing so far and are going to continue to do has to do with being intentional. So it's not just that my eyes are open and I'm looking around and I'm looking for some danger, because that's when you're just noticing things. We tend to, well, I don't see anything that's, there's no bad guy with a knife walking down my alley, right? So I don't have to worry. But what we're missing is a lot of those other opportunities that are putting us in potentially dangerous situations that we then have to backtrack out of. And I want to help you stay out of those situations so that you are always the safest and the least vulnerable. And so it isn't just that your eyes are open, your head's up, and you're kind of looking around. It's intentionally paying attention to the things around you, noticing them, intentionally looking for, what looks normal, what looks out of place, and also knowing your personal space and your boundaries. And noticing, hey, I saw that guy in the grocery store and now here he is, but taking note. It's not just looking, it's intentionally paying attention and being aware so that you can say, wait a minute, that's the same person that I saw 3 times in the grocery store. Now here they are walking right behind me, and maybe they only have one item that they checked out with, or, but you got to start to recognize those things. And that comes from that time that you spend looking around. So, all right, let's do this. I don't normally save a hand for you, but here we go. Now, this is let's say that I just got out of my car, and so here, all those grocery bags are on the passenger side. So I have an option right now. I can go and I can lean in all the way to my car and I can grab these. But what am I doing? I'm completely making myself vulnerable because I cannot see what's happening behind me. Now, of course, I got, the camera here, but I'm focusing on grabbing these bags. And yes, I can, kind of see here, but I can't see behind me. And that makes myself very vulnerable. So you want to be like aware of things like that. So when I go to grab the groceries out of the car, this is where it stops. This is where it ends. And from there, I'm able to just, grab the items. I'm over to the other side of the car now. If you have to reach in to get a bag where you're going to be putting yourself in a place. So what I did was I put the door to my back and then was able to then see if I can reach in. But you want to keep your body from going into the car. Now, what if you have little kids that you need to put into a car seat? Again, you know, this is where you have to adjust, but you can still do it so that, you know, maybe you're kind of like stepping into the car where I still have a visual of the outside as I'm, you know, putting a kid into a car seat or baby into something like that. So think about those kinds of things. So I'm grabbing my grocery bags here. Sorry for that little crumpling noise. So again, you see, everything fits into this hand. This hand has you, but it normally has my keys and my pepper spray, which are actually in my hand. But I really can't use them because I have you. So then it's just walking and paying attention and being aware. Behind you, listening, all those kinds of things. So here we are at the door, and now this is when you can go ahead and put your key in your door because you've already got the keys right there in your hand. All right, so I'm in the house now. I saved you from some of those little things, and I'm setting all my stuff down. I gotta go back outside. I gotta bring the garbage cans in and do some other things. So, but it's really simple. This doesn't have to be something complicated or confusing, things like that. Pay attention to your surroundings. Intentionally pay attention. And the more that you can eliminate vulnerabilities, the safer that you will be. That's what it comes down to, you guys. Are you catching on to this? It's in being intentional, eliminating vulnerabilities, and keeping yourself out of potentially dangerous situations. Because when you're not getting into potentially dangerous situations, you're not going to get into a dangerous situation where you're going to have to physically defend yourself. Stay safe, friends. I hope this helps you. And if you enjoyed this, please share this video. If it helped you, it'll help somebody else. And hey, why not do the 30-day self-defense challenge yourself and create 30 posts or videos of what you do each day to practice self-defense. Stay safe. See you guys soon.